And you know me, I'm a visionary and I'm the type of person that like to go different directions with content pertaining to everything. Sometimes I'll follow suit and sometimes I'll just come up with some things of my own. And this is one of these days I decided to come up with something on my own. One thing about me, as a guy that does media pertaining to boxing, as a credentialed media member who covers boxing, I constantly check out my surroundings every time I go to a fight, and I check out the scenery and I check out and see what's before me. And it helps me to be able to come home or wherever I'm at and be able to come up with content. And what I wanted to discuss, have y'all noticed this? The real smart people. Now, for the emotional people that's going to come on here and say, oh, here we go again. Somebody making it about, hey, listen, dude, I'm not forcing you to watch my channel. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to talk about on my channel. You don't like what I talk about on my channel, you don't have to watch my channel. You're not gonna police my channel. And that's just real talk. You see right before your eyes. Anytime something happened with Devin Haney or particularly a black fighter, people can't wait to push the record button and start talking and putting stuff out there, whether it's accurate information or semi-accurate, or it could just be completely false. They'll put something out there and they know it draws views, in particular when you slander or put down a black fighter or a black person in general, because it leads to views, because everybody has some kind of opinion or have formed some kind of opinion about black people or black fighters. But you notice now, ever since this thing came out with Ryan Garcia and what he said about, about a certain community, ain't nobody pushed the record button and started talking about, hey, Ryan shouldn't say stuff like this. Ryan, should be banned and all this kind of stuff. But everybody couldn't wait to talk about what happened with Devin Haney and slander his name. Now, we haven't heard from Devin Haney. We haven't heard basically in full detail you know, what transpired at the fair. But in all likelihood, we know that probably that dude started it, but Devin Haney's crew finished it. And I called out the double standard when people was bigging up Caleb Plant and his entourage for basically jumping somebody. They say Devin Haney jumped somebody, but then didn't Caleb Plant's entourage do the same thing? But people was making it look like Caleb Plant was John Gotti or somebody. They bigged him up. Devin Haney does it. It's a bitch move. He's a punk. See how the temperature changes? See how it's basically the same scenario, but then they reversed it, where one dude got G'd up, bigged up, where one dude got attacked and shamed. And I love doing this because I see the double standard and I see the obvious racism that's going on. I'll give you an example. And then you don't only get this from non-black media, you get this from black media. At the end of the day, a lot of these dudes be just getting their Sambo on, or just being view horse. Now, you seen everybody, they seem to be worried about what Terrence Crawford, they always worried about what Terrence Crawford's pay-per-view numbers is, what his ticket sales is, what he's getting paid. They love to pocket watch Terrence Crawford or view watch or whatever the case may be. They do that with Shakur. They do that with Devin Haney. All of a sudden, they numbers matter. But you don't see people talking about, well, how many people tuned in to watch Virgil Ortiz. Now, even though Shakur Stevenson did good ratings with his last fight with Top Rank, you don't see people talking about, well, how many people tuned in to watch Bam Rodriguez. Nobody cares who's watching Virgil Ortiz. Nobody cares, who's watching William Zepeda. But they're always worried about black people's numbers. You notice that? And it's just amazing that you get these dudes that sit up here for whatever reason and try to tear down Terrence Crawford, another black man. But nobody is worried about what the Mexicans is selling. Nobody's worried about their ticket sales. Nobody's worried about their pay-per-views. Nobody's worried about their fight purses. But everybody got something to say about what Terrence Crawford is doing. And then they wonder why Terrence Crawford cuts off and is very particular about what type of media he talks to. Same thing with Shakur Stevenson. Same thing with Devin Haney. Numbers only matter when it appears to be a black fighter. I'm not going to say a person of color, because I'm not going to categorize everybody and put us in one big, melting pot of equality and, basically, being able to get along. Because no, they only be worried about black fighters' numbers. The proof is in the pudding. You saw a bunch of people talking about what Terrence Crawford supposed to have sold, didn't so, and saying that, Turkey Al-Sheikh and company lost money, but they technically don't know. They don't know how much money they made in advertising. They don't know what type of overseas deals they have, but they want to just sit up here and say, oh, they lost money. But then they don't talk about how other promotional companies have lost money. And a lot of times when fights flop, they use it as a tax write-off. So, well, it wouldn't. Well, that's the thing. Here's the thing. If you've been following my channel, I really don't be doing that kind of stuff. I really don't be concerned about what somebody's pay-per-view numbers is and all that kind of stuff, unless, I feel like doing it. But I see when a lot of other guys do it, it's a way to attack the fighter. Now, some of these dudes that's sitting up here always slandering Terrence Crawford is dudes that's still mad about him beating the brakes off of Errol Spence. The bug-eyed Garfield the cat, coke sniffing nigga, then, the bald head, black Dr. Evil looking ass nigga, and then a few other people. They just can't get over it. Look, move on. Move around. It's over with. It happened. Terrence Crawford was the better man. Now, I want to make this very clear. I'm not attacking Virgil Ortiz. I'm not attacking Bam Rodriguez. I'm not attacking William Zepeda. I'm just making an example of how finicky certain fans and certain media is. I didn't specifically say it was Mexicans doing this. I said it was a lot of black content creators doing the shit too. They part of the problem too. If you listen, here's the thing. As a media guy, when you out there, you gonna have them days where sometimes these dudes want to talk to you, sometimes they don't. But then some dudes, they just may be in favor of another fighter. Listen, I've talked to Arthur Beterbiev a couple of times, never talked to Dimitri Bivol. But I'm not going to slander Dimitri Bivol because I've talked to Arthur Beterbiev more than I have Bivol. And a lot of guys do that stuff. Then you have people that just are PBC and Al Heyman nut huggers, and for whatever reason I don't understand, you want to act like you so self-righteous, but you need to explain to me how come Al Heyman treat everybody but the black fighters, good and wholesome. The Mexican fighters get their money on time. Canelo get his money on time, but you got these other dudes, they on a payment plan. They get their checks, they get monthly checks like, disability or, what I'm saying, SSI. But you dudes supposed to be so, you guys supposed to be so pro-black, but then at the end of the day, you always tear down a black fighter. I'm not really worried about what these guys' numbers is. You only seem to want to, now all of a sudden you want to seem to pocket watch Turkey Al-Sheikh. Obviously, he wants to deal with Terrence Crawford. He believes in Terrence Crawford. My thing is, here's the thing. Why did you put up Anthony Joshua's numbers? Or more in particular, you guys wasn't putting up what Tyson Fury and Usyk, what they allegedly sold. You don't care about what they pay-per-view numbers is, but you always seem to be worried about what the brothers are doing. So I'm just keeping it 100. Yeah, Errol Spence got the Texas Steakhouse beat out of him. And I don't mean to do this to Spence because I actually like Spence. But at the end of the day, to a certain degree, he kind of like what you call a casualty of war versus fake and very biased, racial and Sambo media, coverage. See, I added everybody all into one group. I'm tackling and taking on everybody. I'm just keeping it a buck. This shit just go on far too much, but that's all I'm saying. Nobody ever cares what the non-black fighters numbers is. But everybody always worried about what Terrence Crawford is doing. Oh, well, I heard that the fight didn't do good if you look at these numbers. At the end of the day, Terrence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson got paid regardless. But y'all just don't have the same energy. And I'm going to keep blowing y'all asses out the water. Nobody cares what Lomachenko is selling. Nobody cares what Teofimo is selling. First of all, Teofimo can't even sell out the lobby of McDonald's. But you don't see nobody reporting Teofimo's ticket sales. Lomachenko can't give away tickets. Nobody wants to come see him fight unless he's fighting a brother. But everybody's always worried about Terrence Crawford or Shakur Stevenson, or Devin Haney, who all fight in arenas. They fight in full-fledged arenas because they can get 10,000, at least a minimum of 10,000 people to come see them. Teofimo fighting, like I said, Teofimo is fighting in the drive-through at Jack in the Box, but you don't see nobody reporting his number. They don't report what he does on TV, but everybody is worried about what the brothers is doing. So that just goes to show you. Yeah, he don't have no fan base. Like I said, Teofimo be fighting in the lobby at McDonald's, but nobody cares what he's doing. So there you have it. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. We will continue this talk later on. Got to start my shit. I'm out.